There are two kinds of people in this world. Number one, who buy SUVs only to go to the mall, and number two, who buy SUVs to discover the true meaning of life. Now, it is not a bad thing to be a part of the first category, but today I'm going to be a part of the second category because discovering the true meaning of life is definitely the better thing to do. And with me, I have the Toyota Hilux. The plan is to drive this car on the road first and then go absolutely bonkers with it. What are you waiting for? Let's get started. The wait for driving the Toyota Hilux was really long, but we finally have a detailed video here on MotorBeam. So the plan is that first I'll drive this car on the road because we are heading to an off-road location, and I think that seems quite interesting. So I'm actually looking forward to taking this car off the road. Now the Toyota Hilux is based on the IMV platform shared with the Fortuner, which you see over there, and of course the Innova Krista. So this is a rugged architecture, and globally also I think the Hilux is a pretty popular car. So they have sold more than 20 million copies of the car, and this is the 8th generation of the Hilux. Under the hood is a 2.8 litre engine shared with the Fortuner. This makes 204 PS of power, 500 Newton meters on the automatic, which I'm driving right now, and 420 Newton meters on the manual variant. Three variants are available: standard manual, which is for business applications, high manual, and high automatic. This is the high automatic variant. 5 colors are available: 2 shades of white, 1 silver, 1 grey, and this red one, which I am driving right now. In terms of power delivery, I think this engine is a well-known engine. We have driven the Fortuner a lot of times in the past, and it offers very nice performance. In the city also, the Hilux feels quite easy to drive once you get used to the dimensions of the car, and in the mid-range also this engine has a very good amount of punch. Of course, the engine is a bit noisy, but it has more than enough power to keep the Hilux going on, and this is a pretty reliable engine. It is a proper workhorse. You can cruise in this car all day long, and overall this engine can easily run for lakhs of kilometers if you maintain it properly. In fact, just like every other Toyota car, the Hilux is also one of those cars which you can pass on to different generations of your family, and probably you might leave the world first, but the car will still be running in proper condition. So that is the reliability, and that is the reason why people use this Hilux as such a durable pickup truck. Now, in terms of ride quality, of course, the ride of the Hilux is a bit on the bumpier side. The Fortuner is also bumpy. This one is also bumpy, but in a slightly different way, and that's how pickup trucks are tuned. Of course, I am driving with an empty load right now. The loading bay is completely empty of my car, but if you fill up some load over there, a considerable amount of load, then the weight gets balanced out and the ride quality may improve. So right now I don't have a chance to try that out, but we do it when we get the car back in Mumbai. The Toyota Hilux has different driving modes. I'm driving in normal mode right now. It also has an eco mode and a power mode, so I have slotted the car to power mode, and the difference is actually felt. So the engine feels more responsive. The Hilux gains space in a quicker manner, but I think normal mode is just about okay for cruising. Only if you need that outright power delivery, you may use power mode, and eco mode is used to save fuel, but I think the normal mode is the best of both worlds. So the plan is that we'll head to this off-road place, and over there we'll talk about the off-roading capabilities of this car, and I'll explain the technicalities over there. But I think this was a basic idea about how the Hilux feels to drive on the road. The steering is a bit definitely on the heavier side, just like the Fortuner, and this car being 5.3 meters long is actually longer than the Mercedes S-Class. In fact, the wheelbase is also very long, so you have to be careful while turning in tight lanes, or just getting used to the parking feel of the car. It is not very easy to park this car because of the length and because of the limited space that we have in most cities in India. So that is the only concern. Once you get used to it, it is actually very easy to drive, and the road presence is so good that you don't really have to use the horn because people just move out of the way. So that was the basic idea, and I think now you can see how bumpy the ride of the car feels. So yeah, that's about it. Let's do some off-roading now. So we have finally reached the off-road area with the Hilux. The road was quite narrow over here. It took us around 45 minutes to reach, and we made good use of the DAC, which is the downhill assist control, to come downhill, of course. And now that we are here, we are going to put the Hilux through a lot of different obstacles, challenges, and we'll see how the car performs. I'm quite kicked about this, but yeah, let's see how it goes. So if I talk about the mechanicals of the car, of course I mentioned how the car performs on the road. This car has an LSD, which is a limited slip differential. You have differential locks, and you of course have the normal 4 high 4 low modes. We'll be using 4 low most of the time. The differential locks will be used at some of the obstacles also, and I guess that's about it. Let's see now. Let's get started. So we are finally off the road in the Toyota Hilux. Coming here was actually a difficult task because the road was narrow, and navigating this car was a bit of a task, but once I got used to it, it actually became fun. So now I have engaged the 4 low, and we are driving this car on these obstacles over here, and I think this is going to be quite challenging and fun at the same time. So we have a few spotters over there who are guiding us through the walkie-talkie.
When I tell you to turn straighter, climb up. I want you to climb further. Climb. Keep that line, hold the line.
You can see the angle over here right now. The car is on a negative slide incline, and the tire is tilted a bit towards the outside, and it is scary and it is quite challenging also. The Hilux is holding over on its own over here very nicely, and initially I thought that there is a possibility of the car toppling, but nothing of that sort, and this was good. So this angle was approximately 32 degrees, the side incline, and the Hilux did it quite well. It is now time for the next challenge. So this is the articulation challenge. The diff lock is engaged, and the front left tire is in. The right rear tire is up in the air. And this is also done. The Hilux nailed it. It was nice, it was fun, and when the tire went up in the air, the view that I had, I hope you guys also get to enjoy that view from the GoPro POV. And let's move on to the next challenge. So it is time for the next challenge, which is the positive side incline, and this time the driver side of the car will be on the upper side, and oh yeah, we have a stream of water also. So let's see how it goes. I think this should be nice. We are on the stream now.
Keep going straight, you have to climb up. Keep going. Yes, now turn left. Yes.
So we have a spotter over there, and the role of a spotter is very important. So we just have to hold this line now, and you can see the angle at which the car is right now. I am driving a bit slow, and I think the negative side incline was more scary compared to the positive side incline. This one feels easy because this time I'm on the upper side, and that time I was on the lower side, so that one felt more challenging to me. So we're done with this, and next is water wading. So this is a 700 millimeter stream of water through which we will drive the Hilux, and yeah, I've been waiting to do this since long now. So this is the water wading obstacle. We are driving in the middle of the stream. It is the deepest over here, and we are at a 700 millimeter stream of water right now. It feels as if I'm driving through a flood. I can feel something on my foot, but of course water is not coming inside the car. I can feel it on the footboard, and we are done with this. So the next challenge is uphill and downhill. Differential locks are activated again. I am going up on this. The approach and departure angle is actually working fine here, and the car is not scraping anywhere.
Faster, keep going, don't slow down. Yeah.
And the car did it effortlessly. Let's take a turn and go down. I have switched off the DAC also, which is the downhill assist control, and that should help matters here. So the car is in S1 mode, which is the manual mode, and hill descent control is on. Now without the brakes, we are planning to come down, and the car will maintain the RPM in the speed. So again, this is a very steep decline. And I did not apply the brakes, and the car came down on its own. This was good. The Toyota Hilux isn't just a normal vehicle, it is an emotion. Of course, it is a bit impractical because of its long size. You cannot take it anywhere in crowded cities, and parking this car is also a bit of a hassle. The price also isn't exactly cheap, but this car does a lot of things right. It has more than enough power under the hood. It has a decent list of features. It has amazing practicality, and you can literally take this car anywhere. It will go without a single complaint. Being a Toyota, it will also be reliable, and it won't give you any issue in the long run. So yeah, this is one car which appeals not just to your heart but also to your mind as well, and buying this car will of course be an emotional decision for a lot of people. when we think with our heart, we don't, buy something which is practical. We buy something which we just want. And the Toyota Hilux is one of those vehicles. You don't know what you're going to do with it, but you just want it for some reason. And that sums up the feeling of the Hilux for me as well. So I had a blast driving this car today. I wish to do that again sometime in the near future. And that's about it. What are your thoughts on the Hilux? Let me know in the comment section below.